Welcome to Coffee, Calm and Connection Bite Size, where we deliver key takeaways from our full interviews on current topics from mental health experts.
One of the things that I don't want Coffee, Calm and Connection to be about is this idea of, I don't want to use this word because it does sound quite derogatory, but victimization.
Yeah.
Like everybody goes through shit, everybody. And everybody deals with it differently. And some people's shit is a whole lot worse than others, but it doesn't diminish how it feels when you're in it, whatever level you're at.
Yeah.
But, and I said this I probably say it in every single CCC podcast, so apologies to everybody listening, but best phrase ever, if I knock you down, it's my fault. If you don't get up, it's yours.
Yeah.
I love that. And what you're talking about here is getting to the bottom and going, oh, man, how do I get out of this? What do I need to do?
Yeah.
And that level of resilience is incredible, and I think is a really powerful thing to have done, but also to be able to tell people about, because there's always a way out, whether it's an audible, whether it's talking to somebody, whether it's professional help, whether it's a mixture of everything. And I think it's really powerful, really, really powerful. What I'd be interested to ask you from a different dynamic and feeding into a conversation we had earlier is, what is overwhelm for you, Wes? When have you felt it, and how did it manifest maybe differently from Bex?
So that's a good question. Just adding to what Bex said earlier as well. So from my perspective, before we started the journey, and without knowing, but I suppose when you got overwhelmed, Bex would go like introverted. She would kind of close off, shut down. So to an extent. And that used to just wind me up. I'd be like, what are you doing? Why are you ignoring me? What's going on? So it was on this journey that you then start to understand, well, actually, that's a kind of a reaction to what's going on in her world. And there's better ways of dealing with it rather than being explosive. So, and it was understanding that. And we started to we'd listen to a book and we'd be like, oh, that's a really good book. Have a listen. Or listen to this podcast, have a listen. And then just by doing that, you would naturally start talking, and then you start to get onto a line and be on the same page. But going back to your question, overwhelm for me, when I get really stressed, I get burning sensations in my head, which sounds quite bad, but I know at that point that I'm in total overwhelm and I need to go and do something. But for me to overcome overwhelm, meditation's been a massive part in that for me. Every morning, every evening. Another one's exercise. This is different for everyone, and I completely get that. But for me personally, exercise is really, really important for my body and for my mind.
How long do you meditate for?
20 minutes in the morning to half hour, and then of an evening until we fall asleep, which is about 5 minutes. But no, so we meditate together of an evening when we go to bed. And that would be anything from 5 minutes to say 15, 20. It's normally 5 because Bex is like, just choose a short one. But in the mornings, we've got our own separate routine. We tend to get up between 5:15 to 5:30 every morning. And then we kind of separate and do our own things. Like I said, we've got our own routine, and I tend to meditate for like 20 minutes to half hour every morning.